Early life and education. Full name: Mohammad Hossein Bagheri, born 1960. Tehran, Iran. Family: comes from a military-inclined family. His brother, Hassan Bagheri, martyred in the Iran-Iraq War, was also a notable IRGC commander. Education: studied mechanical engineering at Università. Later received a PhD in military geography, known for combining academic knowledge with field experience. Early military involvement: joined Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) after the 1979 Islamic Revolutionary Iraq War, 1980 to 1988, played a critical role in military intelligence and operational planning. Served alongside his brother Hassan. Bagheri was instrumental in intelligence gathering and battlefield tactics. After Mohammad Bagheri joined the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC), a newly formed military and ideological force created to protect the Islamic Republic and its revolutionary ideals. Here are the key aspects of his early military service. Joining the IRGC 1979-1980 as a young man motivated by revolutionary zeal. Bagheri enlisted in the IRGC during its formative years. A brutal conflict that defined Iran's military structure for decades. His early role focused on intelligence, operations, planning, and coordination. Role in the Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988. Bagheri rapidly distinguished himself in the IRGC's Intelligence and Operations Division. He worked under or alongside his older brother, Hassan Bagheri, a legendary figure in Iranian military history who was martyred in the war. Mohammad Bagheri helped develop intelligence networks, map enemy movements, and analyze battlefield logistics. His strategic input contributed to Iranian counteroffensives and defensive planning during critical phases of the war. He gained a reputation for analytical precision, dedication, and organizational talent. Focus on intelligence operations. At a young age, Bagheri showed deep aptitude in military geography, tactical forecasting, and surveillance systems. He became a go-to expert for analyzing enemy strategies, particularly Saddam Hussein's military formations. His intelligence reports were essential for launching key IRGC operations in regions such as Khuzestan Province, Southwestern Battlefront Skirmish regions in the North. Legacy from the war: the loss of his brother Hassan Bagheri in 1983 deeply impacted him and solidified his lifelong commitment to the armed forces. After the war, he was instrumental in documenting and institutionalizing lessons learned, helping shape the IRGC's post-war doctrine. Post-war military rise: after the end of the Iran-Iraq War in 1988, Mohammad Bagheri emerged as one of the most promising strategic minds within the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC). While the war had honed his battlefield intelligence skills, the post-war era revealed his deeper strengths in military planning, restructuring, and doctrine development. Transitioned to strategic roles with the ceasefire in 1988. The IRGC shifted focus from combat to reconstruction, reorganization, and modernization. Bagheri transitioned from frontline duties to staff positions, focusing on military doctrine, writing integration, joint operations coordination. He was placed in senior roles within the General Staff of the Armed Forces, where he shaped long-term defense strategies, doctrine development, and intelligence. Bagheri was instrumental in redefining Iran's military doctrine based on the lessons of the Iran-Iraq War. He helped develop the concept of Mokavemet resistance doctrine, which prioritized asymmetric warfare, advocated the use of proxy forces, and regional allies encouraged self-reliance in defense production. He also led intelligence units within the General Staff, improving data analysis, surveillance systems, and decision-making speed. Regional security architecture throughout the 1990s and 2000s. Bagheri became deeply involved in shaping Iran's regional security framework, collaborated with Syria, Hezbollah, and Iraqi militias, developed military support channels and training structures abroad, monitored U.S. military activity in the Gulf and Afghanistan, military academia, and expertise during this period. He pursued and completed a Ph.D. in military geography, focusing on the strategic use of terrain, logistics, and movement in modern warfare. He later taught and supervised training programs for high-ranking IRGC and Artesh regular Army officers, helping shape the next generation of commanders. Climbed to the top by the early 2010s. Bagheri had built a quiet but powerful reputation as a master strategist, a trusted insider of Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, loyal defender of the Islamic Revolution's ideals. His roles included Deputy Chief of the Armed Forces, General Staff Head of Intelligence and Strategic Studies, Senior Advisor to the Supreme National Security Council, appointed Chief of Staff 2016. In June 2016, Ayatollah Khamenei appointed Bagheri as the Chief of Staff of the Iranian Armed Forces, replacing General Hassan Firuzabadi. This was a historic shift. Artesh, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Air Defense. Appointment. As Chief of Staff, date of appointment, June 28, 2016, appointed by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who is the Commander-in-Chief of Iran's Armed Forces. Position: Chief of Staff of the Iranian Armed Forces, Artesh plus IRGC. This is the highest-ranking military post in Iran, overseeing all branches of the country's military structure, including Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, Regular Army, Artesh, Air Defense, Force Navy Air Force, Joint Military Operations and Strategic Command, successor to Major General Hassan Firuzabadi, who held the post from 1989 to 2016, 27 years. Reason for selection: strategic vision. Bagheri was chosen for his deep expertise in military intelligence, doctrine, and strategic planning, post-war experience. His analytical approach and long-standing contributions after the Iran-Iraq War made him a standout candidate. Loyalty: proven loyalty to the values of the Islamic Revolution and direct trust from Iran's supreme leader. Need for modernization: Khamenei wanted a modern, forward-thinking officer to upgrade, ensure integrated defense strategies across land, sea, air, and cyber. Advance military technology, oversee development of Iran's domestic missile, drone, and cyber warfare programs, lead strategic partnerships, direct military diplomacy with allies like Russia, China, Syria, and Iraq, supervise combat readiness, guide drills, training, and large-scale defense exercises such as Zulfikar and Defenders of the Veliat Sky. Impact since appointment: Iran has expanded regional influence in Syria, including exports to countries like Russia. He has represented Iran in high-level military meetings abroad, something previous Chiefs of Staff rarely did, showing Iran's military outreach ambitions, initiated cyber defense initiatives and advanced air defense projects like Bavar 373, Iran's answer to the Russian S-300, S-400 systems. Public perception, domestically viewed as a technocrat, general quiet. Mohammad Bagheri, background ethnicity and religion, Persian. Shia Muslim, strong supporter of the ideals of the Islamic Revolution and deeply connected to Iran's revolutionary and military elite. Notable sibling, Hassan Bagheri, martyr, one of Iran's most legendary IRGC commanders during the Iran-Iraq War. Hassan was a founder of IRGC intelligence and a hero in Iranian military history. He was killed in action in 1983, and his martyrdom profoundly shaped Mohammad Bagheri's career and personal ideology. Education and personal development focus, holds a PhD in military geography, a rare and highly respected academic credential in Iran's military circles. Public persona, keeps a low public profile, avoids media appearances, often described as methodical, intelligent, and humble, known to be intensely loyal to the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Personal life, private marital status, married, a quiet, secure lifestyle, as is typical for senior IRGC and military officials, strongly influenced by the culture of martyrdom and resistance, which is central to his worldview. Religious beliefs, deeply religious and ideologically aligned with Wilayat al-Faqih, guardianship of the Islamic jurist. The foundation of Iran's theocratic government participates in religious ceremonies and military events, honoring martyrs and veterans. Public image and legacy, often referred to in Iranian media as a strategic mind and silent commander. His identity is closely tied to his brother's martyrdom and his decades of quiet but powerful service to Iran's armed forces. The generation of IRGC commanders who fought in the war and later modernized Iran's military